Hello, everyone. This is High Priestess Tana, and thank you for tuning in to Tana Temple Healing Works. I am so glad to be back to share some more of my knowledge and wisdom with you all. I love y'all. I have not forgot about y'all. As you know, everyone has a life, so sometimes we're a little bit more preoccupied with certain things more than others, I guess you would say. Um, so yeah, I hope everyone is staying safe and sound because it's cold. And all my fellow Michiganders, I'm just speaking on the behalf of just being a Michigander or just a person who lives in Michigan or however you want to put it. It's cold, y'all, and it's been snowing and it's been a mess. Yeah, so I hope everyone is safe, no matter where you are, especially yeah, we're snowing a lot. So let's tap into these topics today, right? So I got a lot to talk about because I have been on here in a while, but I'm gonna like reduce the amount of time of the video. I don't want to talk nobody ears off because I notice sometimes if a video is too long, it kind of don't capture people's attention. So I want to make this as brief as possible, but I also don't want to sugarcoat anything, and I don't want to reduce the message in a way that like it's nothing to really like grasp. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to lose too much of the authenticity, I guess you would say, of my message. But I'm going to make it as short and sweet as possible, direct as possible. So I have actually a few messages that I want to discuss, or a few things, topics, if you will, that I want to talk about today. And yeah, I want to talk about humiliation rituals and how they play a part in your personal life, as well as manipulation tactics that people use to try to emotionally blackmail you and try to control you to get what they want so that they can keep you under their thumb, and you have no power or don't realize that you are losing your power in the connection, along with people who like to drain people's life forces, like energy vampires and how that tie into that, and people who create chaos on purpose just to keep you strung along, or just to keep you confused on purpose, and how they get an adrenaline rush out of that whole situation because they lack the emotional maturity, the emotional intelligence, as well as the, I would say, the um yeah, like that. That's just it. That was it in a nutshell. Ain't nothing else to say. I'm thinking about it. That's it. They're immature. They don't, and they may not be as intuitive as you are. They may lack discernment. They may have very little to no discernment or intuition, or they're not as awakened as you, and they make poor choices even if they're way older. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's start from the beginning because really all this flows together. I'm not going to really break up how the way I want to talk about each topic, but I'm going to start off with humiliation because this trickles down all the way down to the last thing that I just mentioned. It all kind of flows together. Okay? So, with the humiliation rituals, I'm going to talk about humiliation rituals um from not only just a spiritual standpoint, but also from a psychological standpoint. I am not a registered or licensed psychiatrist or therapist or anything like that, but this all goes hand in hand, okay? So here's the thing, right? When a person likes to humiliate another person, it's about control. And usually it's about a person trying to control another person's mind, their actions, and just their beliefs, or their beliefs and how the way they operate. Because, see, if a person can't have control over you, that means that you're too strong for them. And nine times out of 10, They know that you will pull away from them as fast as possible if you're confident in yourself, you love yourself, you respect yourself. That's why people like to attach themselves. Well, toxic correction. That's why toxic people prefer to attach themselves to people who lack self confidence, self worth, self esteem, and they like to deal with people who are considered to be more low vibrational, like people who could be sex workers, people who could be just even if they're not a sex worker, just very promiscuous. They like to, fuck around with whomever. They have no standards. They asleep, suck, and fuck with anybody. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't have any morals as well or values when it comes to their self worth, their health, their self esteem. They love people who would do whatever it does something for them. A toxic person. Also, if you think about it, some people, you like, for example, some people know automatically, they can sense that you are a person who holds yourself up high, in high regards, or you have standards, values, morals. You care about how the way you look, you care about how the way you dress, how the way you speak, how the way you educate yourself, what type of job you have, what type of house you have, whatever. You're very specific and almost like a perfectionist when it comes to certain things, and people can see that in you. And you know what they want to do? They want to come in and break you down. They want to find something about you, and usually an energy vampire can sense what your weaknesses are, because even though, guess what, I named all that stuff, right? That's so positive. You can have an insecurity that you may not even fully be aware of, and that energy vampire slash toxic person, now that's another term I'm about to get into as well, about the energy vampires. That's what they do. They see people who are of a good source. You could be good for providing them something financially, emotionally, sexually, romantically, whatever the case might be, and they take that and they just zap all the energy out of you, because they see that you have the light, you have the wisdom, you have the beauty, you have the amazing sex, you have the bank account, you have the great job, all that, okay? And they look at you and they're like, this person is like my ideal person. Yeah, the ideal person that they want to fuck over, the ideal person that they want to try to run in the ground, the ideal person that they want to break down, to humiliate and scrutinize and to minimize and berate, because they see that you have these amazing qualities within yourself, and they don't like that. They don't like that at all. Okay. And that's this person. Usually, the people who act like this are people who really don't love themselves at all. They have low self esteem. They're insecure. They probably never been truly loved by their parents or their family or other lovers. And the biggest thing when it comes to this goes back to humiliation. I'm going to be ping ponging with these topics real quick. Well, probably throughout this video, okay? Just to keep it, just keep it 1,000, whatever, keep it a bean, okay? I gotta be honest about this. So when a person, I have dealt with someone, and I'm speaking to you from personal experience, and it's not to humiliate myself, it's to be on this platform to guide people out of messed up situations. And that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm a healer, a high priestess, an empress, a light worker, a star seed, an empath, you name it, okay? That's why I embody all of these qualities, because I've been through some shit. And I'm not afraid to say that. And I'm also definitely not ashamed or afraid to say that God helped me through a lot of this. Because I'm telling you, if I didn't believe in God, ain't no telling where I would be right now. I'm not joking. You have to have a strong mind, baby, to get through some of the shit I done been through, okay? A strong heart, too. Because I swear, like, some of the stuff people done to me, the average person probably wouldn't be able to take all that pain. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I know y'all strong collective, because if you're listening to this message, if you find this video, it resonates. Let me go back. I'm gonna go back, right? But does brief story time real quick. You know how I do over here. So I was dealing with someone who was humiliating me behind my back. So this particular guy that I was dealing with, he was highly insecure because he had things happen to him during his childhood. He felt like he was less than a man in some ways, and he did things to, like, he was oversexed, like very oversexed, right? He would go to, or hypersexual. That's the term I was really looking for. He liked women who were extremely like out there, like sex workers, strippers, God knows what else. Probably OnlyFans girls, webcam girls, whatever, all that. Right? He was into some shit. He was heavy into that. I think he still is, because I don't fuck with him. So I don't know how things are now. But last time I checked, even yeah, he's heavily into that online dating shit, right? And he don't just date, quote unquote. It's about him trying to find women to pretty much, I would like to say, prey on, in a sense. It's about fun sex and no morals, no type of commitment, nothing like that. No responsibilities at all. And this man is really a true narcissist as well. And I'm not just saying that to say this. He would try to break me down and say things about me like, oh, you need to get your body together. He said that shit once, and he would say things like, for example, I'm not trying to be funny, but what man don't want a tight pussy? I'll wait. A woman who has a tight pussy, well, excuse me, a tight vagina or yoni is going to make sounds. If the sex feels great, why not? If she's getting wet down there, obviously she's getting stimulated and she's having an orgasm and everything else in between. I don't understand what the hell the problem was. How do you get mad at a woman for making sounds while y'all having sex? And I mean, just stupid stuff. And then like he will blame, like he blamed it on like me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was the one that was the problem, cuz I was like, damn, you know, if a woman who's not blown out or who's intact down there, yeah, it may be tender when you're going, especially if a man is, you know, pretty much hung or has big penis, big dick, whatever, it's gonna, you know, kind of pinch a bit. That doesn't mean she's just dying in pain. It just means, damn, you know, she haven't had any action down there in a little while, you know, so you can't get mad at a woman for that. But you know, just stupid stuff. Saying little things like, oh, if you lose weight, you not gonna want to fuck with me anymore. And um come to find out, this motherfucker had went behind my back and basically was fucking with bitches online, and he was obviously messing around with strippers too, because that's what he used to do before. Come to find out that he was also married to a stripper before and had a whole child with her, and he was married more than once, and I didn't know that shit. But anyway, we gonna leave that shit alone. This is what he was doing just in case I didn't work out with him. He wanted to, like, that's basically what he was doing. You, why did you, but he loved by me, telling me all this bullshit about he felt like God sent me to be his woman, and he was talking all it. We had so much in common, right? But that's what narcissists do. They basically mirror you, like your spirituality, and you saying that, oh, well, I'm, pretty much, I'm highly intuitive, what some people will call a psychic or medium, reader, whatever, seer, and then they try to copy off that. And then the kick ass is they try to go to someone who isn't even on your level, right? So they'll go to a woman who claims to have these same gifts that you have, but really this bitch is a whole Satanist or they doing black magic, trying to get attention from people because they're not that important. And people who don't heal from their past, that's what they do. They also run a spirituality as a form of empowerment and as a way to manipulate people, to get money out of them, to get energy out of them. And these are your same people, these karmics that you hear about doing all these love spells and shit to get men or women. It don't matter, or whoever, whatever gender they're into. This is what they do. That's that Jezebel slash incubus spirit shit that I be talking about. Sexual demons that you could attract as well. Because everyone is not deserving of your body. Trust me. Okay? And I wasn't trying to tell all my business, but I was trying to give you an understanding as to where I'm coming from. And really, when a person is trying to fight their sexuality too, I'm not saying no, I don't say names or nothing, but if you look at a man too, and if they're always sleeping with so many different women all the time to prove that they're a man, and I heard this person say on a damn show, it's funny because he went behind my back and was going on a podcast, y'all, telling people all his business. His friend that he grew up with or something had a podcast, and he was just telling all his business to the world. And it was a female on there who I think he probably was fucking around with too. But he just lied. Even though we weren't exclusive or whatever, we were fucking around, and he just abruptly just started acting funny. And I said, "What is fuck is going on here?" And he talk about, oh, I can't see my kids and I can't do, I'm going through it, pray for me, baby, and this and this. I said, no, this deeper than you now. You acting funny. You just stop calling me and texting me and want to be all in my face all of a sudden because you can't see your kids. The fuck are you talking about? Like, I mean, come to find out, it's like this is something he always went through with this same child's or his youngest children's mother. So this ain't new, nigga. This ain't new. So come to find out, it wasn't that had been blew over. It wasn't just that correction. He was seeing someone else and a lot of other people too. He may not been having sex with all those certain people as of yet, but he definitely was showing interest in somebody else because see, he was playing mind games with me, feed me a bunch of bullshit, and I started checking him about certain stuff like, so if you going through something, how come you couldn't just call me and let me like know, hey, I'm going through this. Why do I have to pull all this stuff out of you? You just acting funny. You just shut down altogether. Acting weird. And then I come to find out, and my intuition kept telling me he's on dating websites, and he was. And then years down the line, this dumbass end up posting a picture of himself on Facebook, use his profile picture from a fucking dating website. And he had changed his look altogether. He went from looking like a silver fox to like how he was when I first met him. I was like, what the fuck? Y'all. Anyway, that humiliation shit, and I come to find out while he was lying to me, saying he was just so heartbroken about not seeing his kids. Come to find out he was messing around with all different types of hoes. And these bitches weren't all in shape and stuff either. Cause the most of the women he messed around with were all that. And I'm not even just saying that they weren't like these drop dead gorgeous people. Like he I don't know what type of taste he had. And honestly, they looked masculine. Like for real, for real. And I'm not just saying that. A lot of them looked masculine and they were not attractive. And they didn't have the best personality. They were fucking hood rats. Didn't have the best personalities. And he was a hood rat, come to find out too. Anyway, I'm so glad I closed that chapter. Humiliation, mind games. That's the other thing. When a person, you call a person, they act like they all broken up about something. And I'm just looking like, we're fucking adults. And if a person does you like this, they pretend like, oh, I just can't talk right now, this, that, and the other. Bitch, you lose my number. That's my advice. I would tell you, tell that person to lose your damn number. The hell with that. All that manipulation and mind games and power plays. But then you will see who they're messing around with, and it's that narcissistic shit too. How they will go back and forth with their exes that they fucked around. Because the nigga told me I went back to a situation that I should have left alone. Fuck you mean by you went back to a situation that you should have left alone? So you saying that you going back fucking around with someone who you claim to be toxic. And it's another thing. All my baby mamas or whatever were toxic. All my exes were they all had problems with their fathers. And I said, what now? Say what now? I'm thinking, you ain't the problem, no way. I never been a cheater. That's one thing I never been. But you ain't never been a cheater. But then you tell another source, somebody else who's really close to me, a whole nother fucking story that you wasn't a good husband when you were married, you weren't a good father, and all this other shit. Lies. See, that's what I'm saying. They want to make you look crazy while they sitting up here at the like they at the top of the hill, the king of the hill and shit, while they try to make you look crazy. And when I realized, I said, oh, there's inconsistencies in these stories. Like, you didn't tell me certain things, but you tell someone else close to me this shit. You knew if you told me the truth, I wouldn't even fuck with you as much as I did. Well, wouldn't even went that far with you. And that, I just don't understand people. Why do people lie so much? People love lying. They tell these big ass lies all the time. They just lie, 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 lie through their teeth. I don't understand it, y'all. It's like, what do you get out of hurting people, lying to people, manipulating people, by pitting people against each other? And on top of that, rather, this clown basically had to give my personal information to one of his now exes. She was looking me up all on fucking Facebook and shit, stalking my page and shit, stalking my stories, comparing herself to me. Bitch, it ain't no comparison. What you mad for? You don't know me, and I don't know your ass. But I know you ain't no comparison to me, to a real queen. I feel like Jill Scott from the song Long Walk. Um, shit, hey, no, not Long Walk, my bad. I was thinking of Getting in the Way. Queens shouldn't swing, if you know what I mean. But if I got to, throw them hands, look, I'm too old to be fighting. Fuck all that fighting shit. Okay? Anyway, I just don't participate in ignorance. Okay? I let God fight my battles. I'ma say that much. These people are idiots, pure idiots. And what they do is I couldn't find out this fool was ping ponging back and forth with different people who were insecure, low self esteem, didn't have any standards, didn't care about their physical health. And I'm quite sure something could have been passed along. I'm not going to say what I think it was. Some type of, I wouldn't be surprised if some diseases allegedly, STIs allegedly, could have been passing along too among that little crew. Because he was just running through bitches like running water. He was an energy vampire. He only wanted, it seemed like he wanted to deal with me because of my light. And because I have a purity to myself. Even though I'm not a virgin, I'm pure when it comes to my heart, my soul, my being. I'm not a messed up individual. I don't thrive off of chaos, lies, and confusion. That's how you know a person is demonic. They laugh at you being hurt. Look at that bitch. She's so stupid. She think I'm not out here doing this and that behind her back. No, you're the stupid one because I ain't got to worry about if I'm contracting STDs or STIs or whatever from people. So ha ha ha, bitch. I got the last laugh. Okay. So yeah, these people they're insane. Meanwhile, like you could be at home cooking and cleaning, doing all this stuff for your man or for your woman, shit. Keeping the bills paid on time, all that. And this food sitting up here, and see, I ain't get that far with this food where we was moved in or in no steady relationship or nothing. Thank God that God removed that obstacle out of my life because I will probably be fucked up for real by now. Seriously. I pray that none of y'all have to keep going through that crazy shit with people, or I hope y'all get away from that shit as soon as possible. I'm telling y'all, it's not fun. It's not fun being with somebody who partake in sleeping with a bunch of nasty assholes, strippers, neighborhood bitches that they probably been knowing forever, who probably fucking about 10 to 20 other niggas. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. Okay? It's not cool at all. They think that this is cool, passing around all packages, and I ain't talking about UPS, bitch. I ain't I ain't talking about that. It's a shame what we go through as people. You know, it's sad. It's really sad. I had never experienced anything like that in my life. That was the first time I've dealt with another dumbass after him, but it was so short lived. It was even more, well, about as short lived as that, really. But the funny part about this guy, I thought I could trust him because we had been knowing each other for several like years, like maybe 6 years or so before we had actually decided to mess around like that. But that didn't even last long. But the impact, the stupid shit that he kept doing, and he kept talking about me like a dog to his friends, saying that I didn't want to leave him or something, or I'm like, didn't want to leave you, motherfucker, you left me. You like, what are you talking about? And I left you alone when you tried to beg for my forgiveness more than once, and I did not want to fuck with you. And I basically told you that. But see, people like that like to again pit people against each other to make you look like you're the bad guy, you're the monster, you're the liar, you're the deceiver, and there's none of that going on. It's all in their twisted minds. And see, they can't handle a strong woman or a strong man or a person like yourself. So what they do is they go to the bottom of the barrel or bottom of the ocean to get the worst of the worst of the worst people they can find to manipulate because they're just as stupid as they are. So two idiots deserve each other, you know? And that's why I was talking about that incubus, that succubus energy, that Jezebel and Ahab type of vibe. And I noticed he was going to a bitch who was considered to be a dark witch, right? And wow, I guess you could say it was good witch versus bad witch or something because I am a high priestess or whatever, and I am very strong, but I come with purity, with honesty, with grace, with not I was gonna say seniority, actually, really, because I this is passed down from lifetime to lifetime, like that. So in a sense, yeah, with wisdom, with knowledge, with expertise, however you want to put it, this person was a whole, faker, like a whole joke. You know what I mean? That he was talking to, and he couldn't even stand her after so long, but they're so fucking toxic. Toxic people have a hard time breaking away from each other, not because they love each other or like each other, because they're both like on the same page. They're both the same ignorant, the same silly, stupid, however you want to put it. But um they have the same level of immaturity. So they're not thinking from the perspective like you are, who you're an enlightened person. They don't have that in them. They don't have the God in them. They more so got Satan in them or the devil in them a little more. And that's why they hurt, and they don't realize words do hurt. Your actions do hurt. They don't have the mental capacity or the what you call that, like I said before, the emotional intelligence or the intellect to even in general to process all the stuff that they be doing to people. They think it's a joke, they think it's a game. And see, he ran across a little bitch who hurt his feelings, had him out here looking stupid while you was going hard for that hoe. You treated me like shit and I suffered. She didn't even want his ass and played him. And from what it sounded like, she was sleeping with other men, and it sounded like she possibly could have ruined him in a sense. But he was suffering in silence though. So childish. Y'all don't fall for this crap. Like it's just so sad how people just operate. People just don't come with clarity, with honesty. They just don't. Everything is a game, a big ass game, a web of sticky deception that they can't pull themselves. It's like a web that just keep going and going and going, like until you just so tangled up. They want you to be in a crossfire. They want you to suffer because they're suffering, you know? They want you to fail because they're a failure. They think that being a hoe, being a liar, being a deceiver, and a heartbreaker is how to get over healing from their pain. First of all, I'm not the one that fucked you over. And see, that's what they don't understand. Like, you're not the one that fucked them over, that broke their little heart. You need to take that up with your mama, your daddy, whomever, not me. Or that little bitch or whomever who you fell for, who didn't really like you like that or love, let alone love your ass. Quit taking old wounds and bringing them into new connections. Trying to destroy other people because you're destroyed. That's not right. And then that's why they say STDs are always like the diseases that you get diagnosed with at the doctor. No, it's sexually they're sexually transmitted demons. And that's real. That's some real shit. Period. Anyway, I'm about to end this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you would like to purchase a reading, of course, I'm going to have the information in the description box below. Y'all have a beautiful night. Again, this is High Priestess Tana from Tana Temple Healing Works, and I'm out. Y'all stay good. Peace.